Welcome back to the C programming lecture series, and in this tutorial we are going to discuss about else. We are going to use else with if statement. So first of all I will declare a variable int marks is equal to, say I have a marks 80, or I will do one thing, I will get it from user. I will enter here printf. So I have received the marks from the user. Now I am going to check whether the marks is greater than 100. So if it is greater than 100, I will mention that you are pass. Else if it is less than 100, I will mention you are fail. So I will write if marks greater than 100, then I have to enter into this block. You have not you have not qualified, and I will use printf you have qualified. So if marks is greater than 100, it will get into this block and it will write you are qualified. Else it will not. It should only go to this you are not qualified if this condition is not true. But in my case, it will go on both statements. Suppose I will write here slash n. What does that slash n mean? Slash n means new line. So I will run my program right now and I will get both of these statements, because if I write marks as 101, it is showing me you have qualified, but it is showing me you have qualified not qualified also. Why it is showing that? How it is possible? I am also qualified and I am not also qualified. So this thing should be written in the else. So I will write else. This else is a part of this if statement. It will only go into the else if this condition is not true. If this condition is true, it will not go into this, either this or this. So this is the else part. Either it will execute this or it will execute this. In earlier case, it was executing both of these statements. Okay. But in earlier, if my condition was not true, it was only executing this statement. In this case, it will execute this statement if this is not true. But if this is true, it will not execute this statement. If my marks are 100, it will show me you have not qualified, because marks should be greater than 100. If I will write marks as 101, enter, you have qualified. Now I want to discuss one more thing. If we have, in this case, we have only two conditions. Either marks is greater than 100 or marks is less than 100. What if there are multiple conditions? Suppose if our marks are greater than 100, we should have A grade. If marks are greater than 90 and less than 100, we should have B grade. And if marks are greater than 80, we should have C grade. Similarly, if any other marks, suppose 70, 60, 50, it should show it is not qualified. So we have multiple conditions. So we, in that case, we use if else conditions multiple number of times in the same statement. Suppose if I am writing if and if I am writing else, I am using else because I have only either this condition or this condition. But what if I have multiple conditions? In that case, I will use if, then else, then again if. So I am using else if. I will use repeatedly else if, and that is also called as else if ladder. So I am going to use else if ladder. So if my marks are greater than 100, suppose I will write greater than or equal to 100. So in that case, I have to write here grade A. I have to write grade A. And if marks are greater than or equal to 90, so I will write here else if marks greater than or equal to 90, then in that case we have to print grade B. Similarly, then after I am using again else, And if again, because I have to check another condition, I don't have to stop there, I have to check another condition. So I will write again if. I will copy this, copy, and I will write it here. Marks is greater than or equal to, I will write 80. So I am going to copy this code and paste it here. Okay, now I will write it in a sequence so that it will be easily tracked. I have used three conditions: 100, 90, and 80. I can use 70 also. I will write else if marks greater than or equal to 70. In that case, I have to print grade C. And if there are marks less than 70, suppose 60, 50, 40, in that case I have to write only else statement, because for every marks below 70, I have to mention that are fail marks. So I will use only else, because I have not to use another multiple conditions. Multiple conditions were three. These three were multiple. These four, in fact, were multiple conditions. Now else is the remaining condition. So at remaining condition, I have to print fail. So I will write here, you are not qualified. Or I will write here, work hard. Work hard. But remember, in last statement, I have used only else. In rest of statements, I have used else if, else if, else if. Because these are multiple conditions and last is the remaining condition. That is why I am using else at last. So what will my program do? My program will check whether the marks are greater than or equal to 100, and if my marks are 95, so at that time this condition is true. Also this condition is true because 95 is greater than 80 also. Also this condition is true because 95 is greater than 70 also. This is else if. This is else if. So first my program checks line by line. My program is executing line by line. My program will get executed line by line. First this line is executed, then this line is executed, then this line is executed. First when it executes this line, it will find that my marks are greater than 90. Okay, so I was talking my marks, if my marks were greater than 95, were equal to 95. Okay, 95 is greater than 90, so this condition is true and it will print grade B. And it will not go into this else. Why it will not go into this else? Because this why it will not go into this block? Because I already mentioned that my marks are 95 and that is also greater than 80. So it should go into this block also, but because of this else, it will not allow. If condition is true here, it will not allow to move into the another block, because this block is else with this block, and further this is also else with this, and further this is also else with this. So if it finds out that my marks are equal to 95, it will enter into this block. Because of this else in this, and is this else in this, and this else in this, it will not allow it to enter in these blocks. So it will enter into this block only. I will run my program, and suppose my marks are 95. So my grade is B at that time, because my 95 marks will enter into this block and it will not enter any of these blocks. Similarly, if I will write my marks is 65, it shows me work hard. If I will write my marks is 100, if I will write my marks is 100, it will show grade A. This is the multiple if else ladder. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe my channel, Indus Technologies.